Hello Year 1, it is Monday the 18th of May 2020 and this is actually going to be a week project, potentially 2 weeks, because I want by the end of the week for you to create, this is our key word, create your own story based on our story The Great Explorer. Well, in The Great Explorer, the main character uses a map, and today we're going to be looking at how we can create our own map to then be able to use it when we are creating our own story. Now I've got an iPad here showing me the local area of our school. Now if I look here, it says the Oval, so I know our school is around here. And I've got the River Thames shown in the map because I want my character to go on an adventure to the London landmarks, because we know what the London landmarks are, and I think it would be quite interesting to see my character travel to see the different landmarks. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to draw out where I want my character to go. So I want them to start at the Oval, so at our school. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw the path, the road. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? This would be the start. And I'm just going to use a different colour pen to mark off with a cross where the start is. Then I'm going to follow that through. And I'm not going to include too much detail because actually I quite like the idea of it being really simplistic, so really simple. Now I'm sure you can tell that this is the River Thames going off over here. Now I'm not going to draw all these little side roads because that's when it can look really messy, and actually it would be really hard to follow a map if it was too tricky. And actually because it's for a storybook, I think it would be quite nice to not have too much detail. What I'm going to do is, because this is the River Thames, I'm going to use my blue pen and create what looks like waves. And again, it doesn't have to be the best you've ever done, okay? That is my River Thames. Now this would be Vauxhall Bridge going over here. So I'm actually going to colour that in because that is a bridge. And what I can do is I can label that as well as Vauxhall Bridge. Okay, and then where I'm thinking is I quite like my character to travel along the Thames to about here, because this is where I would say by looking at my map, that's where Westminster Bridge is, and we know by Westminster is Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament. So I think I want my character to follow over. Oh, I've spelled Westminster wrong. Westminster B-R-I-J. Remember, this makes a J sound. Okay? Westminster Bridge. But also, actually looking here, I can see that the Tate Britain, which is an art gallery, is about here. And I think it would be quite interesting for my character to travel to an art gallery, because then actually what we can do in our art lessons this week is try and create some very interesting pieces of art that our character might come across during the story. So instead of like The Great Explorer where he got to see different animals, actually I think I'd like my character to see different pieces of artwork. So I'm going to put Tate Britain in on my map because that is a key area that I would like to include. And then we've got Westminster Bridge, and actually I think that's all I'm going to put on my map, because I don't want my character to be going to too many different places, especially if I am wanting my character to go to an art gallery. The adventure could actually mainly take place in the art gallery and end at the Houses of Parliament on Westminster Bridge. So that's why I've put end there. Okay, and then just because it is a map, I'm then going to add a bit more detail. Now, like I said before, you don't need too much detail, but I just think a bit of colour to show the different areas. So as you can see, because the oval we know is like a cricket ground, there's lots of grass, and actually you can see on our real map that it's using green too. My roads on here are yellow, so I'm going to keep that the same. I'm going to still keep them as yellow. There we go. And I'm going to keep it like that for now. So this would be my map. Then I'm going to map out my key areas. So start, so this would be like giving a set of directions. So we would start, which we know is here, which was St Mark's, so St R, remember R sound, Mark, apostrophe. So remember this is apostrophe because it's St Mark's Primary School. So the primary school is St Mark's. St Mark's possesses the school, okay, which is why we have this apostrophe. We don't need to worry too much about that. That is a very tricky thing to understand, and it's something you will learn as you go up into the school. But so you know, that is what we call an apostrophe. So St Mark's, P, R, I, M, A, R, E. Oh, I know that's not how I spell primary, so I'm going to change and just edit with my red pen. Primary school. Very sorry about the noise in the background. I am at home and this happens. So St Mark's Primary School. And then I know that I'm going to follow and get to Vauxhall Bridge, would be my next place. After Vauxhall Bridge, I'm then probably going to go to Tate Britain, or my character will. I might decide to make my character myself, I'm not sure yet. Britain. And then after Tate Britain, I would then go to, let me actually, because I've written start, I'm going to write end, would be Westminster Bridge. Okay, so you don't have to have your map being the map near school. I just think it would be a good idea to have it as something that we know quite well, and also because we have learnt the landmarks of London, you might choose to have your character go on an adventure to Buckingham Palace, or the Shard, or St Paul's, or Tower of London, or Tower Bridge. It's completely up to you. This is what I've decided to do. You might want to do the same, you might want to do something slightly different, but I think it's very important, if you are going to choose somewhere different, make sure you research, so you look up information about that area so that you know where the different places are and what they look like, because that will make it a lot easier for when we go to create our own stories.